Welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today we are opening the Akashic Records on visions. It is V week of the alphabet superset. There is more information on that in the description box below. The questions that we're going to ask on visions are: what are visions? Where do they come from? Why do we have them? What are we meant to do with them? And how can we enhance or quiet them, depending on where you're at? And then lastly, what's the most important message we need to know about visions? Let's get into it. First question. What are visions? They're calling it a spotlight on something. A spotlight on something. They're like fixated from the subconscious mind, from the conscious mind, elsewhere, somewhere else, thoughts, thinking, overthinking. A spotlight. What are visions? I'm just getting like something that like caught the eye. Like there's so many things, like they're just giving me the sense that there's like so many things, there's so much like visual information, there's so much information that we take in with our eyes open and our eyes closed, with what we see through our eyes, what's in our mind and what's in our thoughts, that like they're saying it's like impossible to grasp all of them. But some of them, they're saying we get fixated, like there's a spotlight, something jumps out at us and sticks out specifically. But they're giving me the sense that like we see so much in so many ways, it's impossible. It's like overwhelming to even like comprehend how much we actually see. But they're saying like visions clear. They become clear when they're like in the spotlight. And they're saying sometimes it's a choice. Like sometimes we like our brain, our mind like works to fixate longer on something, and then sometimes it just like pops in. They're like a light bulb, like brilliant idea, aha moment, epiphany, some experience. They're saying like tricks of the mind sometimes. Anything else? What are visions? They're just like spotlight. It's a spotlight on something and fixated. Okay. Where do they come from? Where do they come from? They're like everywhere all of the time. Everywhere all the time. Anywhere. Where do visions come from? Everywhere, anywhere, anything, everything. They're kind of like impossible to the point. Like get to the point, like it's impossible to know where they come from. Because we're so multifaceted, like individually we're so multifaceted. They're saying like most experiences, like all of them, there's like a requirement of like taking in. I'm getting this feeling of like we take in, we see things and we have things come in, and then that's like easy. But then like visions of something that comes out of us like takes more effort. It's like almost like this like pushing to like express it or to get it out. Like if it's coming from within, there's more effort, but if it's coming from elsewhere, it's like super easy. But they're kind of saying everywhere. I'm gonna ask them to be more specific. What are some examples of places that visions come from? Other people, environment, interactions, reactions, experiences, landscapes, places, like this is the environment stuff. They're like traveling, exploration, adventure, new places, new things, new people. Old things, old places, old people. They're just like all of the things. Like it's really just like everything, anywhere, everything, anywhere. Okay, now this is what I was kind of like trying to get at. Okay, so now they're going like, there's like your individual life experience, immediate environment, and then they're showing a person and then like this huge kind of like bubble around them, and it's like the world, their world. And then there's like going out into space, and then there's like beyond that. And so they're kind of saying like, yeah, like other worlds, other realms. What can you tell us more about that? They're just like visions come from everywhere, anywhere. Okay, fine. Why do we have visions? Why do we have them? They're like experience, experiment, inspiration, create, to be creative, to express. Why do we have them? To inform, to give you messages, to give you guidance, to give you insight. They're like higher levels, lower levels, like foresight, hindsight. They're like present moment awareness. And then in that one, they're just like, ooh, like things get really like magnified when you're like very, very present. Like things get like really like, they're like, it's like they're saying zoomed out, but they're showing zoomed in. Like I'm seeing macro, which is interesting. They're just saying like to experience, to have more experience, to go into like more or like greater depths of something, to see. They're saying like multifaceted experiences, to see things from different angles and different experiences, to have new perceptions, new perspectives, new ideas, new insights. It's all like growing and learning and evolving, like growing and learning and evolving. And it's like I'm just seeing like a person and like all this stuff, like all these experiences, all of life, like kind of like floating in the air around them. And they're kind of like grasping onto certain things. And it just feels like so much is happening all around us all the time that you can only like focus on certain things. They're saying like intentionally or unintentionally at a time. Like we can't like absorb like all of the information, all of the messages and all of the things that we see all the time. So why do we have them? They're even saying like curiosities, like to have clear sight, like wanting to know, wanting to understand why. They're kind of like mocking me a little bit. They're like, why? Like, why do you want to know everything? Trying to understand. Kind of like, they're like, why do you see this? Like, why do you think you see it? What does it mean to you? They're saying it brings like meaning into your life. Like it makes something special. It makes something important or unimportant. It almost like visions, like we take stuff in and like it filters through us each individually. And then like we decide like whether it's meaningful or not, right? That's totally up to us. They're kind of saying like soul important, S-O-U-L. Is it soul important? They're like meaningful, purposeful. And they're showing like something really like meaningful and embodied and, you know, like someone who embodies the experience of a vision and like it like almost like emanates through their pores and they radiate this vision. And then there are some people who are like, oh, vision, like whatever that same vision is for them, they're like, I don't want that. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. So they're just saying like, they're all very different. Like one is very different from the other. Like we're very different forms. And so like the quality and the value that we put on visions and where they come from and what they mean are completely up to our own interpretation. And like, you know, they're like not meaningful, like more meaningful, completely useless. Like Okay. What are we meant to do with visions? They're just like, it's up to you. Again, they're just saying like meaningful or not meaningful. Okay. They're just saying meaningful. They're just like so meaningful for so many things, for so many reasons. But they're saying life path. Like there's like certain lives, certain people's journeys that it's a requirement to like grasp all this meaning. Like they're saying it's like a personal requirement. It's like, I want to grasp all this meaning in this life and I want to cherish it and embody it and remember it. And then they're showing someone else who's just kind of like flying through their life, like flying through this path, this journey, like not holding on to anything, like not grasping anything, like not really caring about anything, like not, I'm getting like no present moment awareness. Like they don't feel the need to be holding on to something or making something meaningful or purposeful. So they're just like, they're like, you're all so very different. Like you're so very different. How can we enhance visions if we want to see more of them? How can we enhance our visions? Sorry, they just made a joke and they were like, glasses? Ha ha ha. And they put on glasses. Like, okay, leave me alone. All right, how can we enhance our visions? They're like, the subconscious mind has a lot to tell you. So like, they're like, yeah, like, you know, your dreams, paying attention to them. They're showing someone like journaling. So like enhancing them, they're kind of saying like, make it real then. So like, whether you're daydreaming or you're in like a brainstorming session or you're, you know, coming out of a dream, from sleep, they're just saying like writing it onto paper is like bringing it into the material world. It's like bringing it in, making it real, like starting the beginning of it being something like possible, real, material, tangible. So you can enhance your visions if you record them. Like it's kind of like, I'm getting it like, yeah, you like give them life. You open up, they're saying like floodgates and flow. If you're like you know, intentionally inviting them in, saying like, I want to see more of this. They're saying like, be specific. Like, what do you want more visions around? Like where is your inspiration? Where does it come from? Like, where do you want it to come from? And then it's almost like just in the intention of that, the intentionality of that, they're saying, you like open a floodgate to allow it to flow through. So they're like, do you want to see more colors and visuals? So then they're like, say that out loud. Like say like, I want more, you know, I want to see more visuals and colors. And they're like, your brain starts like flexing this muscle, like everything starts flexing this muscle to try to see it. And there's something about like, they're like breathing and like leaning back, like they're like lean back and like stay open, like allow it to come through you. Like you have to kind of like imagine yourself as a channel, and then you're opening the floodgates for information, messages, visuals, colors, like whatever it is that you want to flow through you. And so they're like, is that, you know, they're showing someone, you know, closing their eyes and then getting a vision and then immediately like painting it. And then they're like, as they're painting, like more details are coming through. So then they like continue, like they're not done with the painting, like it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, like more and more and more comes through. There is a bit of the transcendence, right? So like needing to transcend the mind to kind of allow it to flow through like more easily. I'm getting when you're like thinking too hard, like you start to like block it versus like just letting it happen. Like it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. And while it's happening, like don't get caught up in the fact that it's happening, just let it happen. They're showing someone like writing poetry, writing songs, writing books. Yeah, I'm just getting like, there's the like the transcendent part of it, the trance state. They're saying like the allowance and the invitation of it, and like be intentional about what you're wanting, like what you desire in regards to visions. And they're like, dreams, like you want cool dreams, you want vivid dreams, like when you go to sleep. They're saying, say it out loud, like set the intention, like make the intention before you go to bed, like they're kind of saying like, I want to be an astral traveler tonight. Go to sleep, see what happens. And they're saying it takes practice, like maybe like 1 to 3 times before something actually happens if you've never done it before. Like give it time for you to like ease into the processing of it, they're saying. But they're just kind of saying like, you know, whatever types of visions you want to have, you kind of like, you make it happen by like saying it out loud and setting the intention, and kind of like by saying it out loud, like the vibration of what you're saying is like you're telling your mind and your body that you want to be opening for this way of like channeling to receive visions. Anything else, how we can enhance them? They're kind of saying like sleep is a good place to start, because like they're kind of saying like easy, like for beginners, like they're like, it's easy, you know, like, you know, most people dream, not always remembering their dreams, but they're saying we dream, our subconscious mind, we're surrendered and relaxed so that it's easier to stay open and like let these, they're kind of saying weird, vivid things come through. So if you want to start with it, if you're like a beginner with visions, you can do that. What about someone who's advanced with their visions? How can you enhance your visions? They say keep writing it out, keep making it real, keep expressing and creating like what you're seeing onto paper. And they're just like, it's never gonna stop. Like it never has to stop if you don't want it to. They're like, if this is the thing that you love, like if you just love seeing, they're saying like a different world, a different perspective, like it's never gonna stop for you. And they're like, and that's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing to have new ideas. Like they're like new ideas, new, like they're saying aha, light, new spotlight, new fixation, new inspiration, like evolution, new ideas. They're like growth, learning, like passing along knowledge and wisdom, like all this cool stuff that comes like out of like, yeah, your subconscious mind, and yeah, also from like other worlds and other realms. Like, why not? They're saying like, you know, for those who are like between worlds, like sharing your ideas, they're saying is essential for inspiration for the world. It's a lot of wind outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Oh my God. It's a windy day. Okay. But they're saying it's essential. Like if you're open to channeling, if you're someone who channels, like they're saying this is a gift. Like this is a gift to the world, and use it. Like I just feel like if you're seeing all this cool stuff, like why would you want to keep it to yourself? Like tell everybody, like in whatever way you can. Like, you know, do you paint it? Do you sketch it? Do you draw it? Do you they're saying collage, like try, it's very hard to express visions. They're saying like most of the time, like a lot of the time. And so it takes a lot of time for like the human brain to kind of like take such like wide, expansive information that's coming through and be like, I can see it in my mind, but how am I going to put it onto paper, right? How am I going to describe it in words if I'm writing a book? And they're saying, yeah, it's a challenge. It's very challenging, but like, why not? Like, why not try to bring those really cool visions like into the world, into Earth? Like these are new perspectives, different ideas from different places. And they're saying like they're meaningful and purposeful to those who are like open to meaningful, purposeful like ways of life. So they're also seeing like soul connections, like this is a way to connect with like your soul family, is like by expressing this stuff, because it's like the people who resonate with your creation, your creative expression, your poetry, your music, your art, your paintings, like your movies. They're like the people who, when so many people like resonate with that, it's like you share, you feel this connection between each other. And they're kind of like teacher student, like sometimes it's like educating people through your art, through your creative expression. And they're saying it's a global interconnection. It's like your brains, your minds, they're saying brain mind interconnection. Like whether it's like the work is understood or the work, they're kind of saying like tingling in the mind, like starts getting people to like open up like new neural pathways of thinking differently or feeling differently. They're just like, it's so impactful. Like this is how you connect. Like this is how you make global interconnection, is like putting the visions that you see into the world, into the material world somehow, in some way, in whatever way that you want to convey the message. They're just like, go for it. Like make it in the world. Okay. How can we quiet them? Like what if we have too many visions? Like how do we quiet that sound? They just said, like, if you're like tired and overwhelmed, just like go to sleep. So like get rest. They're actually showing that like being overwhelmed, they're like, it can go into overthinking. They're showing someone like getting sick, like someone being so overwhelmed from like overthinking or like working so hard or something like that. And then they get sick and they can't do anything. Why are you showing me that? How can we quiet them? Okay, I am getting that for some people, this is a sickness. Being too open, too overwhelmed. Can't think straight. Okay, so this is actually important. They're saying mental illness, mental health, like confused. They're kind of saying like brain damage, kind of in other worlds, kind of in this world, more in other worlds, not really in this world. Like I'm just getting like mental illness. Like it actually can be very harmful for people who struggle with mental illness. So how can they quiet that down? They're just saying like sleep well, rest well. They're showing someone like trying to pay attention to their immediate environment, and like it's like someone's sick and they're like nursing themselves back to health. So like I see someone like in bed like drinking broth, like drinking soup, very specifically clear soup, like clear broth, like nursing themselves back to health from being sick. And I'm getting like simple, like be in this world, like focus on this world, focus on the immediate environment, like. And I'm getting like, don't worry about the visions, like don't actually try and grasp them or have, like, don't feel connected to them, like kind of like let them go or even ask them to stop. Like if you're so overwhelmed from the overthinking, they're just showing someone like closing their eyes and like resting and taking a nap. They're saying it's most important for people with mental health issues to kind of not give so much meaning, not put so much emphasis, not spotlight so much visions, and try to like come back into this world and be like embodied and grounded in like this world. Yeah, I'm seeing someone like really struggling with their mental health around this. Like, I can't stop thinking. Like, I can't stop thinking. I can't stop seeing this. it's like some people really suffer from this, and they're showing someone like needing like tranquilizing to like turn it all off. I kind of don't want to be in this place because I'm like, they're kind of like giving me the experience. Like, no thanks, no thank you, no thank you. Any last thing on that, because it feels really important. They're saying like for those people, like all of your like other world, other realm stuff, like all that vision stuff, like really just needs to be like turned off. They're kind of seeing like doing everything possible to just like lessen your overthinking, lessen the overload of visions and visuals that you get. And so they're like, yeah, you know, medications, like all the things that you need to just turn it off. And also like regularly kind of saying out loud, like, no visions today. Like, I don't want to see anything. I just want to be here in this present moment. Oh, wow. Okay. They actually just showed person meditating. That person struggling, meditating and feeling better. Oh, because it quiets the mind. Yeah. And they just showed them like kind of in this like peaceful place. But I'm getting that it's like hard and it's very problematic to just get over the hump of like sitting and meditating. But I'm getting like once they do, like once they really do, like they can feel better. But it's really hard with certain mental health issues to get that person to like sit still, they're saying for like a longer time period to quiet the mind in the first place. I'm getting that there's no trust. Like there's no trust. There's no trust because they're so overwhelmed and confused about the world and like what's real and what's not. It's like they just don't trust anything. They don't trust where they are. They don't trust people. They don't trust places. They don't feel safe. And so like closing their eyes is very vulnerable unless they're in like a really soft, like quiet place. Huh. Interesting. They're like, do not disturb. I'm meditating. Okay. What's the most important message we need to know about visions? What's the most important message we need to know about visions? If you feel them to be meaningful and purposeful and inspirational for the world, share them. They're like, share them, exclamation point. Share them with the world, with your friends, with your family, with the people you care about. And it's kind of like, if they don't get it, so what? Like, keep going, keep sharing, like keep sharing what you're seeing. And it's like, when it drops into you and it feels so meaningful and purposeful, or it feels like it can affect change, like for a better future world, like whatever that means to you, right? They're like, put it out there. It's almost like it's coming through you. It's like this co-creation with all the visions from everywhere. They're like sleep, spirit, other worlds, other realms, you, your heart, your mind, your education, like your life experience. Like it's this convergence of all those things. And then like you, the unique individual, like your unique form of creative expression is like this beautiful way to bring it to life. And so they're like, so what are you doing? Like, so what are you doing? What are you doing with that? What are you doing with that vision? They're like, does it like warm your heart? They're like, is it churning hearts? Does it make you feel something in your heart? Because if it does for you, it likely does for other people. So they're like, share that. Like something that creates like movement or like sensations, or they're almost like these little like things light up in your brain or like tickles your brain, like anything that kind of, they're saying like feels embodied is an important message for you. And that means that it could be an important message for others. And they're like, for like soul connections and making your soul connections. And it's been a long time since they've showed me this visual. But they're showing me the wolf howling into the night sky, and the wolf represents finding your soul family, and howling into the night, and then hearing another wolf howling into the night. Like that's how you find each other. That's how you find your soul family. It's like you have to put yourself out there. Like you have to be who you are. You have to share who you are in order for everyone to find you. They're just like soul family, and I'm getting chills up my legs. So they're like your soul family, your soul connections. Like you have to like be seen, like you have to be heard. You have to put it out there somehow so they can find you, so you can find each other. And they're like same visions. Like it's really cool when you find out that like people have had similar or the same visions. It's like, holy shit, like you saw that too, like not in the material world, but like you had that dream too, you had that vision too. There's something really special about that. They're kind of like astral travelers. They're like telepathic connections, like, and they're just showing like brains lighting up and like networks all over the world of like brains lighting up, like connected to each other, like telepathically. Cool. Anything else? What's the most important message you need to know about visions? Be a visionary. Be a visionary. Be connected. Like you are interconnected globally. And they're like, find the connections, like find your connections through your visions, through your art, your work, your music, your writing. All forms of expression. And then they're like, all forms of self-expression, ... of the visions. Okay. Be visionary, be visionaries. Done. Thank you for watching the Akashic Records on visions. I hope you enjoyed that. Feel free to share any of your thoughts in the comments section below. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time.